My name is Amanda Ring, and this is Flight of the Feminine. Here on Flight of the Feminine, I'm inviting you to explore and reclaim all things feminine, the divine and the dark. To awaken your womb and heart consciousness, I'm inviting you to open to the realms of energy and spirit, to evoke empowerment and create sovereignty as a sacred soul each one of you are on this journey through life. Welcome back to Flight of the Feminine. Here on Flight of the Feminine, I'm inviting you to explore and reclaim all things feminine, the divine and the dark. To awaken your womb and heart consciousness, I'm inviting you to open to the realms of energy and spirit, to evoke empowerment and create sovereignty as the sacred soul each one of you are on this journey through life. Before we open up today's episode, your breath is a wisdom keeper. Let's pause for a moment and connect to the sacred breath of life. First, let's settle into the body. Soften your shoulders, your face and jaw, even letting your lips and your teeth part just slightly, so that your tongue and the roof of your mouth can also soften. Soften the hug of all of your muscles, the hug that they have around your bones. Let your groins relax and allow your womb, if you're a womb carrier, to soften into the pelvic bowl. And bring your awareness to your breath. Simply breathe. This is the essence of life. Right here, right now. Life flowing through your being. Nothing else matters. Only breathing. Beautiful, isn't it? To simply be with your breath. In today's episode, I'm offering you a stepping stone to create a new, more sacred relationship with your breath. Your breath is not only a source of oxygen for your cells and your body. It is what animates your being. Woven within it is the essence of life itself, otherwise known as Lifeforce energy, or in our Eastern wisdom traditions, prana or chi. Lifeforce energy is part of everything, all matter and non-matter. It beholds the wisdom of life. It is the supreme wisdom keeper. It is etheric in nature. We can often think about in life the four elements, which are the earth, the air, fire, and water. And these are very important in our shamanic traditions, cross-culturally. But with these four elements, there is a fifth. This is the ether. It's often referred to as the fifth element. And as you may have noted in other episodes, I love exploring the etymology of words, which is the root meaning of them and when they were first used in our languages. And ether in the 12th century came from the Latin aether, which means the upper, pure, bright air, the sky. And an old French reference to ether from the late 14th century is upper regions of space. From the Greek etymology, it means upper air, bright, pure air, the sky, and is opposed to lower air. In ancient cosmology, the element of ether is that fills all space beyond the sphere of the moon, constituting the substance of the stars and the planets. Another quote that I love is, "Ether is without the firmness of earth, the coolness of water, the heat of fire, or even the movement of wind. It is the space element, and it is the most subtle of all elements." Life force energy is thought to enter and exit the physical body with our birth and death process. And we know that energy and the etheric realm and the etheric body, as I talked about in episode 4, Light Being, is pure energy. It is connected to the source of all life, to the matrix of energy around us. And so this etheric energy does not dissolve like the physical matter of the body when we die. Our physical body decomposes, yet this essence, this life force energy, simply transforms its configuration and returns to the etheric matrix. Some might liken this to the soul or the spirit that has entered the body upon conception. Life force energy, prana, chi, is what creates vitality and aliveness within your physicality and your consciousness. Life force energy is also ever present in your body and your etheric being. It isn't something that you need to pull in or add to from the outside. It is connected to the web of life itself, to the source, which is infinite. However, the flow of life force energy can be influenced. It can get pinched off. It can become diminished. It can get blocked. It can also be enhanced. Its flow state can be increased. One of the most effective and profound ways you can liberate and encourage your own life force energy to flow is through breathing. Your breath truly is a wisdom keeper. The breath, similar to your bodily sensations, as we have explored in episode 2 and 3, is always informing you of your state, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. It might seem obvious how important the breath is to your state of living, yet many are unaware of the power of the breath and of their current manner of breathing. You have a state of unconscious breathing in effect at all time. You right now, in this moment, are breathing. When you were sleeping, you were breathing. Everything that you're doing throughout your day, you are breathing without having to think about breathing or having to tell your lungs, your heart, and your body, your brain to create this magnificent feat of breathing. This is the state of unconscious breathing that is a normal part of your autonomic nervous system. This is just an everyday aspect of your breathing. And at the same time, your breath is something that you can learn to intentionally guide and explore to influence the flow of life force energy and truly the quality of your life experiences. When you begin to develop a conscious awareness of your breathing, your breath patterns, you will unlock its inherent wisdom and you'll be able to harness its power. I'm sure you've been told to take a deep breath when you've been upset, either as a child or even as an adult, or you just automatically do it to calm yourself. Or when you're frustrated or annoyed by something, you might have a big sigh or a big breath out. You might also notice that when you step out into nature, you might automatically just take a nice deep breath in, and you feel how invigorating it is, how amazing it feels. There's inherent wisdom in your being, and the law of nature, which is also the law for you because you are nature, that wants you to be fully enlivened and at the highest state of balance and harmony you can be with life. So your being will constantly be drawing your attention towards what will offer you that. And your being will also be drawing your attention to where there are barriers to this. How does it draw your attention? Through the quality of your breath and through your body wisdom, your feminine intuition, and your body instinctual responses that we've explored in previous episodes. Practices that guide the breath can be done in so many different ways. Some will take you from the beta brain state, which is your everyday thinking state, into the theta brain state, which is a slower brainwave frequency that takes you into more state of relaxation. This will occur during meditation when you might be experiencing hypnosis. It happens when we're in prayer or when we're having spiritual experiences. Theta brain state acts as a bridge from the conscious to the subconscious. And there are certain types of breath practices that will take you from beta into theta state. There are breath practices that will take you into altered states of consciousness where you can access the spiritual dimensions of your being. The breath also can take you into states of ecstasy, sexual and spiritual, which for some is one and the same thing. Different wisdom traditions globally all have breath practices. And the ancient yogic traditions have specific breath techniques that I'm personally familiar with, being a yogi for many, many years and a trained yoga teacher and therapist. These yogic traditions have breath techniques to amplify the inhale or the exhale, create holds or pauses in the breath, and also plays with the speed, the volume, and the quality of breath. And this is all to create specific effects on prana, or this life force energy, to activate it, to release it, and bring harmony to the body and energetic systems. I've been practicing yoga since I was 18 years old, and when I stopped to think about how long that's been, it's almost 31 years. And I was like, holy shit, has it really been that long? Because the last time I feel like I referenced that, it was only 20. But truly it has been. And as a trained yoga teacher and yoga therapist, I've explored a lot of pranayama. And pranayama is one of the 8 limbs of yoga as a whole science and spiritual entity. So pranayama is the breath-oriented set of practices that enhance wellness, spiritual expansion, and embodiment. Truly, these practices are meant to guide the breath to work with the subtle body, the etheric or pranic body, just as much as they are meant to improve the health of your organs and tissues and your biological systems, because it's all interconnected. Just like your essence of breath is connected to the source of all things, of all life, so too is the breath and the essence of life force energy flowing through your body is connected to every aspect of your being: mental, emotional, physical, spiritual. Your breath is truly a keeper of ancient wisdom, and it is the most accessible tool you have for your mental and emotional well-being, because it's with you everywhere you go. Modern research shows that the breath is the one thing that most immediately and effectively can shift the state of your nervous system, and consequently, your mental and emotional state and the corresponding biological responses you have. We know how digestion and respiration, your glandular system, your hormones can be immediately influenced by the state of your breath. So I have a couple of questions for you. How often do you explore your breath? Have you ever considered your breath as something sacred and filled with wisdom? Have you ever considered your breath as a guide to your wellness and spiritual expansion? I certainly didn't years ago, until I started having direct experience with how I felt when I started playing with the breath, being guided through experiences where we changed the nature of how I was breathing. As a lifelong meditator, a therapist trained in mindfulness-based techniques, and a shamanic practitioner, the breath has been central to both my personal and professional exploration of healing. Not only have I seen direct experience of improved wellness in myself and others, but I have seen a profound connection with the realms of spirit, with people, as they explore the breath and their own sense of spirituality, their own sense of what it means to be a soul, to have a spirit. It has awakened so much for them as well as myself. In 2017, I had my first novel experience with breath in quite a long time, because I had been a practicing yogi for a long time, and I had experimented with a whole host of different meditation practices that included guiding the breath in specific ways. However, in 2017, I had my first experience of what's called holotropic breathwork. It's also commonly known as consciously connected breathing or circular breathing. And wow, it changed my life. I dove into the deep end of that, as I tend to do, and I took off for Britain and Scotland for 2 weeks of intensive training. I trained with Sundor at Lendrick Lodge in Scotland and with the creators of liberation breathwork in England, Sandra and Marcus Ray. The experiences of support, whether it's coaching or transpersonal healing experiences for my clients, I don't take them through anything I haven't experienced myself. I don't gather people for experiences or events or retreats with things that I haven't explored and had direct experience with from a perspective of healing and transformation and and alchemy. I went through so much in those 2 weeks. During that training, I processed more layers of trauma, old stories. I gained so much more understanding of my own belief system. And I thought I already knew a lot, but there's always more on the spiral of healing. I worked through mother wounding, father wounding, and discovered my birth script and the birth script that I had been living out, which is something I'm going to talk more about in a future episode because it's absolutely fascinating. I was shown past life experiences that I'd had through this breathwork process. I actually rebirthed myself going back into the womb experience of this lifetime, processed consciously what I had been holding in the subconscious about that experience, what imprinting I had taken on emotionally. I truly had profound healing. And it was all accessed through breathing. I have since then woven this into my offerings with 7 feathers, and I call it sacred breathwork. As I mentioned, it's also commonly referred to as circular breathing and has quite a worldwide level of popularity at the moment because it's so effective. It's called by all kinds of different names, and people have taken their own inspiration with it and developed slightly different approaches with it. But essentially, it boils down to the fact that the breath is the tool. The breath is the magic that opens you to the transformation and the healing potential that's there. So I hope that what I'm sharing with you is inspiring you to explore a new relationship with your breath. And perhaps you will feel motivated to begin a yoga practice or join a breathwork session, whether it's online or locally, and simply starting to notice your breath and perhaps acknowledge it as something sacred, something that perhaps you've overlooked, and how significant it actually is to your experience of life, not only as a human being, but as a soul. I can also recommend a really wonderful book that's called Breath: The New Science of a Lost Art by James Nestor. That'll be in the show notes for you as well. Did you know that the word inspiration is deeply connected to breathing? Inspiration has its etymological roots in the Old French language. Inspirer, which means breathing in or blow into, to excite, to inflame. And I love this because it denotes that when we feel inspired, when we are inspired, we are breathing life into something, into an idea, into a goal, into a relationship. And in that essence, we are activating life force through us. And I would bet that you can relate to this feeling in your body, in your being, in your heart, when you feel inspired. No matter what it is related to, that feeling of being inspired, even saying the word makes my body light up. This is the essence of life. This is why we're here. We are meant to feel this sense of vitality and aliveness. And the breath, because it's so intimately connected to life force energy and the animation of life, it is a great portal gateway to reconnecting to what inspires you about life. There's something else that's very inspiring to me, and it's also greatly encouraging for this time in humanity's evolution through such challenging times. And that is the number of women opening to their spiritual nature and their ancient wisdom within. I have noted over these last 15 years of in-depth study and training and creation of my own offerings, as well as my continued own personal healing, that on every course, pilgrimage, and experience that I've attended or created, there have been predominantly women. 80% of the participants have been women. And yes, my work does center around women. However, up until this coming year, I've also been supporting many men on their spiritual and personal growth paths as well. Yet, my group ritual and breathwork events that are open to all folks have to date been filled with women. Women are ready. Women are showing up for their own healing, the reclamation of their bodies, their wisdom, and their power as the matriarchal medicine carriers. They are taking their lives and healing into their own hands and hearts. The matriarchy is rising again, and a true, healthier sisterhood is being rebuilt. Like you, they are hearing the call from within. That knowing, the feminine wisdom, the ancient wisdom in your bones is calling you back to ceremony, to ritual, to circles, to plant medicine, to herbalism, to healing modalities, to the ancestral matriarchal ways. The breath as a wisdom keeper is being rediscovered by women. Women who want to reconnect with the sacred within and without, who are curious about the mysteries of life and their own holiness. And this holiness is within the breath. And the breath is a bridge to all that is holy, all that is divine, all that is life-giving. Perhaps in a future episode, I'll share some short breath practices to support your well-being and the connection to this source of all life. For now and for today, though, I'd like to end our time together with the simple breath awareness practice that we did at the beginning of the show with a small addition. And my reason for doing this is to illustrate to you and invite a direct experience that it doesn't have to be complicated and it doesn't have to be complex to connect with the breath and to feel its profound nature, to connect to your profound nature and essence. Let's settle into the body again. And if you are driving or you're involved in an activity, as many people are when they're listening to podcasts, then perhaps come back to this again when you can sit with more intention and space and time. You can still connect to it now, but it's really lovely to give yourself even just a few minutes to do this. Bring your attention and awareness now to your physical body. Soften your shoulders. Allow your face and your jaw to relax. Pay attention to that little space between your eyebrows. Let that soften. Let your teeth and your lips part slightly so your tongue can relax. and the roof of your mouth can relax. And if you're sitting, you can carry on. And if you have the space to lay down, perhaps lay down and move through those experiences again of letting the mouth and the tongue relax. And pay attention to your muscles, the tendons and the ligaments. Bring your awareness to them and how they hug your bones, holding you in readiness for action. Give them permission to let go. Release the hug on your bones. Let those inner tissues of the groins relax. And for all you womb carriers out there, bring your awareness to the low belly and let your womb soften into the pelvic bowl. Allow all of your sphincters to soften, dropping down into the body. And now bring your awareness to your breath and simply breathe. This is the essence of life, right here, right now. Life flowing through your being, and nothing else matters, only breathing. Now I'm going to invite you to have a greater awareness to the breath. And as you breathe in through your nose, feel the expansion of your entire torso and count to 3. At the top of the 3, pause and hold the breath for the count of 1. And then exhale through the nose. Slowly release the exhale. Gradually, slowly, smoothly, completely. And feel the softening of your torso. And repeat this 2 more times. Inhaling through the nose, expanding the torso, counting to 3. Pause for that count of 1, and then exhale, 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 smoothly, completely, feeling the softening of your body. One last time. Now just taking a moment to place a hand on the center of your chest where your lungs lay beneath the rib cage, connected to your heart chakra, and just thank your body. Thank your breath. Thank the essence of your spirit for carrying you through life every single day without you having to direct it, to control it. And thank it for beholding this potential that's just there for you at any given moment to tap into, to increase your vitality, your connection to life. Thank you for your openness in sharing this time with me on Flight of the Feminine. Be sure to join me for the next episode, episode 6, In Touch. Let's get intimate with the feminine. I'll be having a special guest. She is a certified sexologist and intimacy and relationship coach, and her name is Serena Haynes. Be sure to tune in to check this one out. Episodes drop every second Friday, So mark your calendars and please like and share. Check out my website, Instagram and Facebook feeds, online courses, and all of the rest of the resources that are there for you for your healing journey. It's time, my sisters, to elevate your mind, expand your feminine heart, explore your inner wisdom. Let's soar together. Sending you all big, big love.
This is Story Studio Network.